And here we are. We are going to create a character according to the Legend of the Five Rings core rulebook for 5th edition, for the Fantasy Flight Games edition. And I will guide you through this step by step. Feel free to pause me if I'm going faster than you are, but it'll be pretty good if we do this side by side. So, first thing you want to do is come into the Discord, into the character creation window, and let's start it from the top. So the first thing to do is log into Roll20 and look for the character sheet that has been assigned to you. I will put the Roll20 login right there, but I haven't put it yet. Okay, so once you've done that, then you'll need to let me know. If this is your first time coming in, then you'll need to let me know that you're ready to make a character, and I'll jump on and make a character and assign it to you. So I can't create a character and assign it to you until you've already been here. As you see, the only ones in here is me. So until you've, even if I've invited you, until you've logged in, it doesn't know that you're a player and I can't add you. Okay, so once you have a character created, that'll either be up here or maybe I'll get around to making a folder that says player characters or something. But you'll have a character and it'll be assigned to you, whatever your color code is. Click on the character sheet, and this is your character sheet. So our first page is advantages and disadvantages. Maybe you're thinking that's a weird thing to have on the first page, but in this game, the entire game is kind of about your advantages and disadvantages. So I don't disagree that I like the idea that they put it there. Then we have our skills page. It's all pretty. The things are organized, grouped. Has your symbols for the dice because we roll weird dice. So that's always there for you to look at. School. When you figure out what school you're going to. Techniques. You just click add and it creates a line to put them in. Equipment. And 20 questions. This is where we're going to want to be. And we also want to start here. So I did put the entire core rulebook is up here. And so is an explanation on all 5 of the rings. The rings are something that every creature in Rokugan has, except for Void, which is a human thing. But you don't have to read these. You don't have to read the whole book, only if you want to. You don't even have to read this explanation of the rings. But the quick description is air is about grace and cunning. Earth is about being solid and grounded. Fire is about being ferocious, direct, and inventive. Water is about being adaptable and perceptive. And void, it's harder to describe. I'm going to go with quiet, focus, and zen. Like anything that you think would be zen is kind of void. Like meditation or looking into the depths of things. That's all void. But especially if you want to read about void because it's hard to describe, go click in there and take a look. Next is our 56-page part of the core rulebook, and this is our 20 questions. 56 pages sounds like a lot, and it is, but we're mostly going to be scrolling through it. It has all of the clans, the families, and the schools, and they're all in the exact right place where you'd be looking for them. The things that aren't in there are advantages and disadvantages, techniques, and equipment, so I added them here. So you can find the one that you're looking for. It's just a little excerpt of the one that you're looking for. So you don't have to go through too many pages. The only thing with a lot of pages in it is the 20 questions. But you're going to want to go through it, one step at a time. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through that. So just follow along with me. So let's open our 20 questions. Okay. 20 questions. You can read all this shit if you want to. Here's our question number 1. What clan does your character belong to? And that is also in here. Question number 1. My phone is ringing. Scam likely. I don't think we need to answer that. What clan does your character belong to? And then this page gives you a quick description of each of the clans. I'm not going to go over that. It has it for you. Pause it, read them over. It's just like 1 or 2 paragraphs. I am going to create a unicorn clan. So that tells me I get a +1 water ring increase and a +1 survival skill increase. So I'm going to type in here unicorn, and I'm going to do +1 water and +1 survival. Looks like it also tells us what our status is, so let's go into this. Our starting status will be 30. Okay, we finished question 1. Nice and easy. Question 2. What family does your character belong to? So now we had all 7 of the great clans listed, and now we're on number 2. What family do you belong to? So here's your crab families. We have to scroll down to unicorn, but you want to scroll down to whatever clan you chose. Unicorn clan families. I'm going to choose Shinjo family. We get +1 fire or +1 water. I am going to take first the Shinjo family, and I'm going to take water again. Your stats can only go up to a maximum of 3 skills or rings. Once you have it at 3 already, then if something awards it to you, you get to put it somewhere else. So the fact that I'm putting it in a water will allow me, any other water that it gives me will allow me to put it wherever I want. And it says that I get a choice of 2 skills, or I get 2 skills. So let's go take a look at that. We get this one, sentiment and survival. Survival, sentiment, and it's also going to tell us our glory and our starting wealth. Glory is Shinjo. Glory is 44. Starting wealth is 8 koku. So, what if you want to know about these skills? Survival, everybody pretty much knows what survival is. It's the same D&D, World of Darkness, but what the fuck is sentiment, right? Well, I do have to, if you scroll down here, the skills page, you can open that up, look up sentiment. Let's go ahead and do that real quick, just so you can see how easy it is. I mean, it's going to be in the bottom because it's an S. We start with the artisans. It's not going to be an artisan, so we just scroll through all that. Social, it's probably social. So we are looking for S. Games, performance. Did we miss it? Maybe it is not an S. A social. What was a good chance? There's scholars. Well, you're just already talking about scholars, so okay. Don't worry about any of that crap, or if you want to read about it, you can. I think it is included here. Medicine, here, sentiment. That is a scholar skill. So, neat. The sentiment skill reflects a character's ability to understand the psychology and emotions of others. It is used to spot emotions like hostility and fear in others, to empathize, and to know how people will behave based on their emotional state. So it is basically insight. So neat. Okay, we can close that now. You guys saw how to look that up. If you ever want to look, you see a skill and you want to know what it is, go look it up. So we've got our sentiment, we got our survival, we got our 8 koku. We finished question number 2. So question number 3. Here it talks about your schools. Schools have different roles. They can be Bushi, Courtier, Artisan, Shugenja, Monk, or Shinobi. Bushi are your warriors. Keep in mind, Bushido is way of the warrior. Courtiers are your politicians, emissaries, civil servants. Artisans are your creators, engineers, and stuff. Shugenja are priests. They're basically wizards, but all the magic is done through religion. So, they're D&D clerics. And then in D&D clerics in a world that doesn't have wizards. So yeah, they're the wizards. Monks, everybody knows what a monk is. And shinobi is the proper term for ninja. So that's what your ninjas are. Okay, and then we're starting our school. So we're starting with crab schools. I have to scroll all the way to the bottom of schools because I picked unicorn. Once guys look like they're in pink, we'll be in unicorn. There, somebody's in pink. Unicorn schools. So if I want to go to the Ida Trader School, I would be a courtier. If I go to the Iuchi Meishodo Master School, I would be the Shugenja of our clan, which is also the artisan of our clan. If I go to Moto Conqueror School, I would be a Bushi, and I would look like this badass guy, I guess. And if I go to Shinjo Outrider School, I would be both a Bushi and courtier. So the one that's listed first is the most important one. So I would be a Bushi, but I'm also going to have courtier duties, some courtier abilities and things. I won't be as strong a courtier as the guy up here, the Ida Trader School, who is primary courtier. So that sounds kind of cool. It's like a multi-class warrior and politician, warrior and talkie guy. And then we have the Otaku Battle Maiden, which is Bushi, and they are all female, so I'm not making a female. Battle Maidens are badass. One of the most honorable characters in the whole thing. All right, so I'm going to be the Shinjo Outrider School, the Bushi Courtier. So I'm going to put that in my school. Shinjo. Did I misspell it again? No, it's just covering it with the red line underneath. Shinjo Outrider School. And its roles were Bushi Courtier. Okay, looks like I get 2 ring increases. So it gives me +1 earth and +1 fire. Oops. So we put in here earth and we put in here fire. And then I'm going to choose skills, or it's going to have skills for me. It says starting skills, choose 5, and it gives me a list. Well, I want to take the combat skills to make sure that I'm doing that. And then I also want to touch it instead of focusing on, I'm going to want commerce. Well, let's see. Martial arts melee, martial arts ranged, and tactics. Then I'm going to take commerce and medicine. Doesn't that sound fun? Okay. So we're going to go martial arts melee, martial arts ranged, tactics, commerce. There you are. And medicine. Was it medicine or meditation? I think it was medicine. Let's double check. Medicine. Okay, then we get honor 40. And we can learn kata, rituals, and shuji. Honor 40. And here we want to click the ones that we can learn. Kata, rituals, and shuji. So I cannot learn Kiho, invocations, Maho, or ninjutsu. And then we're looking for what our starting techniques are. Striking as fire or striking as water. Choose one. And Lady Shinjo's speed. So what do my stats look like? Water, water, and fire. So my water's already 3, my fire's already 2. So why don't I think about it in terms of what they represent? Water in combat represents adaptability. Fire represents aggressiveness. Do I want to see my character as more adaptable, reactions, perception, or aggressive? Let's go with aggressive. So I'm going to take striking as fire. Is that what it's called? Striking as fire, and Lady Shinjo's speed we also get. Striking as fire, Lady Shinjo's speed. Okay. Now we need to add these into the techniques page. So we go to the techniques and we just go back into the Discord and we find the techniques for kata. And we look for them. So I'm looking for striking as fire. Striking as air, striking as earth, striking as fire. There's a little text background. When I make a martial arts melee ranged or unarmed fire attack action, I can spend opportunity in the following way. One opportunity or more from the fire stance. The next time your target suffers a critical strike, increase its severity by 1 per opportunity spent this way. This effect persists until the end of your next turn. Okay. So I'm going to, this will just cut and paste. I mean, you can write it if you want to, but it will just cut and paste. So I'm going to take the action part, go in here. Let's open up. This is it's not giving us a new action. It's giving us new opportunities. So we want to open an opportunity page. It has an activation. That's its activation part. Now let's go and grab the other part. So you see this little symbol for opportunity? It's not going to carry that over because it doesn't recognize it. It's just going to put a little box. But that box means opportunity. There's nothing else it could mean. It's even under new opportunities. This is striking as fire. It is kata, and it's rank 1, or mastery 1, or I don't know what do they call it, rank 1. And we can put its page number so that we can go and look it up should we need to. Its page number is 178. And then if we click this, it'll close it up. If we click it again, it'll open it. Now, it does say down here, print technique in chat like you want to show it to your other players. Last time I tried it, it did nothing. See? So I don't know why they put that in there if it's not going to work. It does put the page number, so that's pretty good. Oh shit, it's in there. It's just really light. Maybe I can go in the code and change the background. If they had this like a darker gray, it would show up white. Or they need to change the writing to black. But no, you can, if you look close enough, you can see. Anyway, unless I do something to fix it, and I don't know if that's even possible, don't worry about it. It's not working. But you got the page number there, so anyone can go look it up if they don't believe you or they need to, you know, have it there. So we also need to look up Lady Shinjo's speed. So I already know. It tells it. Where was this? The other one here. It says it's a kata. Kata. Lady Shinjo's speed. It also has this little symbol here. This symbol means that it has requirements, and we don't need to have those requirements. We're going to get Lady Shinjo's speed even though it has requirements that we might not possess. Now, it says it's a kata. It is not. This is alphabetical order. I already saw this last time. So, if Lord Hita's grip, iron in the mountain sky. Lady should be there in between iron and Lord. It is not. So, I went and looked it up. I even put this in here. I've had one technique labeled kata that was actually a shuji, Lady Shinjo's speed. If you find a technique that you're looking for and you can't find it, open up the core rulebook. It's up here, the core rulebook. Go to the end and look it up in the index. So Lady Shinjo's speed was listed in the index. So I assume that all the kata or all the techniques are listed in the index. And I went to the page and it is actually a shuji. So we can close the page for katas and we can open the page for Shuji. I mean, it would have both open, but if I have too many things open, I'm just going to flip around and take up more of your time. So let's open our Shuji page. And we are looking, these are organized by ring, and I don't know what ring it is, so we're just going to have to scroll through until we find Lady Shinjo's speed. Lady Doji's decree. Lady Shinjo's speed. It is a void Shuji. And it is rank 2. See, so I wouldn't be able to get it, but that's what that little symbol on there said. The Kami Shinjo carried with her a curiosity that could never be fully satisfied. Her passion extends to her clan, who still feel the call of the unexplored. Peerless riders, the Unicorn clan finds their way across unfamiliar terrain with ease, as Shinjo taught them centuries ago. Its activation, as a downtime activity, if I have a steed available, I can make a TN2 survival void check to reach a destination with extreme swiftness. And its effects, if you succeed, you reach the destination half the time it would normally require. If you, so basically, I'm a really great scout or messenger. Outrider, how about that? My school is the Shinjo Outriders. Void. You may, this is a new opportunity that it gives. You may lead a number of willing characters with mounts on their own up to my school rank. I only need one opportunity, and as a school rank 1, I could bring one person with me at this faster speed. And it just says mount. It doesn't even have to be a special unicorn horse. Okay, so we want to take this activation part. Well, we're going to take the activation and effect part, because I think it works the exact same way as the other one did, where I had the two parts, one for activation and one for additional opportunities. So let's open it up. Yeah, it is. So no, it has 3. Okay, so let's redo that. We just need the activation part. And of course, like I said, you can just type this in yourself. You don't have to cut and paste it. The effect. And then the opportunities that this grants. And that is a void opportunity to bring people with me. New opportunities. This is Lady Shinjo's speed. It is a Shuji. Rank 2. In fact, I'm going to put void 2. V2. And then let's mark what page it's on. 222. There we go. Close this. And I have both of my techniques listed. And we can move on. Let's close techniques. Okay. So we scroll down to the end of all the schools listing, and you come to number 4. How does your character stand out within their school? Do you stand out with creativity, passion, or drive? You get +1 fire. Did you stand out with grace, eloquence, or empathy? You get +1 ring. You stand out with adaptability, friendliness, or awareness, +1 water. I'm going to stand out with passion, creativity, and drive, +1 fire. Down here, insight, mysticism, that's your void. Self-awareness, yeah, like I said, Zen stuff. So anyway, I'm going to get fire. Creativity, passion, or drive. Let's go back to 20 questions. Oh, you wanted my... Okay, we got to finish. We still had more stuff. Let's put in this... passion, drive, and that is fire. And I guess you can cut and paste stuff, or if you want to put in a little story. How did I stand out? Stood out with, let's see, how could I have stood out? Passion and drive. Like, that. Like, always first to arrive and last to leave. Studied hard. Every moment was constant training. And I got the sensei's attention. And personal, private tutoring. How about that? And it helps the character come into focus. All right, let's finish. We'll go back to the school stuff. We had a school ability and a starting outfit, so let's go back to that. Shinjo Outrider. Here we go. School ability. Born in the saddle. Once per scene, before rolling dice, you may declare that you are directing your horse, who must be present, to aid in a task and describe how its efforts will help in those circumstances, and reduce the TN of the check by your school rank. Okay. My horse is special. We'll put that in here. Before rolling dice, I can declare that you're directing your horse. So I guess I could direct my horse to, like if it's a combat scene, to try and be a distraction. Reduce the TN of the next check, and then maybe I have a better chance to hit him by my school rank. My school rank right now is 1. School rank is basically your character level. It goes up from you spend experience on stuff, and as your stats grow, then so does your school rank. Let's see. And we have our starting outfit. We'll go ahead and put that in there too. We have Ashigaru armor, traveling clothes, our daisho, which is a katana or scimitar. I'm going to go with katana. In most clans, it is a katana. The unicorn are a little bit different. They spend a lot of time with peoples that aren't from Rokugan. So, I might even, by the time I have the character finished, I might go with scimitar. The Yumi, which is just a basic bow, quiver of arrows, knife, traveling pack, and a unicorn warhorse. See page 326. Okay, there we go. Now we can come back. We already did number 4, so now we're looking at number 5. Who is my lord, and what is my character's duty to them? This is where things are starting to get harder. Question number 5. 6. Here. What is your lord? Who is your lord, and what's your character doing for them? So, there's a lot of stuff to read in here, and if we're playing on a closer, like we're playing in an area where you're actually going to be serving your lord, then you and I need to discuss who your lord is, who you're actually serving, because it's going to be part of the story. So this is something to kind of talk to me about. But if you want to go the default, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and what is my... Okay. I serve the daimyo of the Shinjo clan, which is actually the unicorn champion, the leader of the unicorn clan. Unicorn champion. And my duty is to be a messenger, a courier. Okay. Lesson number 6. What does your character long for, and how might this impede their duty? So, what does your character long for? How might this impede their duty? And it has. This is your ninjo, and your duty is your giri. So my duty is to, take messages as quickly as possible from one place to another. Sometimes that might be all the way into other clans' lands. Sometimes it might just be from castle to castle within unicorn lands. What does your character long for? I think I want to long for a quiet life of settling down, a woman, a family. Where to put that down? It's a little bit generic, so it doesn't matter how generic you want to go. The thing that is important for both your Giri and your Ninjo is that it is something that is easy to grasp, easy to. You want your duty to be something that is kind of plain, out in the open, where it's not a vague construct. It's something that is obvious, and you want your ninja, your desires, the thing that you're looking for, to be something that could get in the way of that. I want a quiet family life with a woman and children and a small house on an open prairie. How do you spell prairie? There. With a river nearby where I can fish. Doesn't sound. He wants just the nice, quiet life instead of the uh, life of the samurai. It's something that he recognizes he will probably never have. But at the same time, he also will enjoy his quiet time, just out maybe fishing. So it's not necessarily that he's trying to find a woman, going on dates and stuff. It can be, especially if he has a real interest, but it's more about living a quiet life and not having responsibility. What is your character's relationship with their clan? That's down here, number 7. What is your character's relationship with your clan? Choose one of the following. If your character believes firmly in the precepts of their clan and the values it holds dear, then I get +5 glory based on their reputation. If the character has a fundamental disagreement with their clan's beliefs, policies, or practices, and has defied these in the past, I gain a rank in a skill that I have 0 ranks in. It and it should have something to do with the with beliefs. Like if you believe that you should be able to gamble whenever you want, and your honor is telling you that samurai don't gamble, then you should probably take gaming or gambling, not you know archery. Uh, and consider this skill represents a divergence from the clan's training or values. So I am I'm thinking I could go and leaning towards my ninja, towards my desire to have a simpler life, and actually go with like survival. Well, do I already have survival? I think I do, because that would be fishing. But I could still go with like carpentry, something like that. But the fact that I chose being driven with my sensei, with my teacher, I'm gonna go with that. I'm following the clan, and I get the +5 glory. So that's what I'm gonna do. 5 glory. I believe in the unicorn clan beliefs of honor, duty, responsibility. There we go. What do I think of Bushido? It's going to be exactly the same. Okay. If your character's belief in living by an orthodox interpretation of Bushido is very staunch, get +10 honor. If your character's if your character diverges from some or all common beliefs about how samurai should behave honorably. In fact, I could even go with this and take the other way, but I'm going to go with both of them being positive, and I get +10 honor. So you could, if you go the other way, gives you a rank in Commerce, labor, medicine. See, I wonder what labor is. Just manual work. Maybe that's what I would have taken. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go with plus 10R. Not 100. That's too many. What does your character think of Bushido? He lives a life of duty and will attempt and will put nothing in the way of that, or at least intends to let nothing get in the way of. All right, I misspelled something, but it's my own personal notes anyway. Okay, so here we have question number 9. Strengths and weaknesses. What is your character's greatest accomplishment so far? Okay, your character likely possesses some ability or strength of character that assisted in this noteworthy achievement. So first I should come up with basically what his noteworthy achievement was. And then I'm going to look for a specific distinction that is an advantage. So I could look for that and maybe it'll guide me towards the story behind what my greatest accomplishment was. So why don't we pull up our advantage distinctions and we can look for something that sounds fun. So these distinctions are associated to a ring. Ambidexterity, air, Bishamon's blessing, water. So that means that when you are making an air check that is relevant to this, it gives you, I don't know what it gives you. I'm not that big on the mechanics yet. But I believe this gives you extra dice or something. I don't know. The mechanics of it don't matter at this point. But they all do the exact same thing. This is just a win. It gives it to you. A win and a Y. Dangerous allure. Every samurai of Rokugan knows the tale. Crimson Maiden of Jideki is the story of a young samurai who falls instantly in love with a beautiful dancer. The maiden danced into the mists of the night. I don't know. Following applied to a character with a dangerous allure. You always make an impression, and NPCs remember your name. Performing a check for which your good looks are a benefit, such as command fire. Check to get someone to act in spite of possible consequences, or a performance fire to incite emotion. You may re-roll up to twice. Do I want to be handsome as fuck? Maybe. Let's see if anything else stands out. Famously lucky. That could work. Famously honest. Keen balance. Keen hearing. Karmic tie. Large stature. Quick reflexes. Small stature. And I guess that's it. It stopped at S. That's weird. Well, I guess so. I'm going to trust that I did it right. I'm going to take a note to go and look later, though. So by the time you get around to this, it will be correct. These are distinctions. Okay, when I'm finished with this, I will go and make sure that there aren't extra distinctions at the end of this and fix it if there are. Oh, I'm going to take the handsome as fuck one. What was that called? Oh, famously reliable. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Other people have heard of your remarkable adherence to your oaths and responsibilities, even over and above most samurai, and they believe it by default unless given evidence to the contrary. When performing a check for which you need to leverage your reputation for keeping your oaths and bargains, such as command earth check, to calm a panicked soldier, or a performance earth check to relate a tale that inspires patience, you may roll up to two. Uh, you may re-roll up to 2 dice. That's what it does. It gives you re-rolls. Does everything give you re-rolls? Re-roll. Because I think they all do the exact same effect. Re-roll 2 dice. It just tells you when. So I'm going to take that. Famously reliable. So let's put that in there. Distinction. Famously reliable. And we want to do what was my character's greatest accomplishment. And how does famously reliable fit into that? Okay. Was ordered to carry a message through a battlefield. Three messengers were sent to make sure the message reached its destination. I was the only one to arrive, and I arrived wounded and near death. Handed off my message and passed out. Okay, there we go. What's next? Oh, we want to put that while we're here. Famously reliable. Let's we'll take the type too, because sometimes I think the type matters. We want to cut and paste this whole thing, and we're going to go stick it in our that first page, which was advantages, our distinction. Oh, there's our Ninja and Giri. My Ninja is wanting a quiet life, and my Giri is acting as a courier for Shinjo Daimyo. Okay. And 10. What holds your character back the most in life? This is your adversity. So we can close our distinctions, and we want to open our diversities. Adversities? Adversities. I don't even know what. Here. I guess this was from distinctions. So let's open our adversities, and we're looking for something that might give us an idea of a story. Or this wasn't wanting a story as much. This was just wanting what holds me back. So I'm thinking maybe I should relate it to my ninja of wanting a quiet life. So let's see what we find. Wordplay, blackmailed, bitter betrothal. What would that do? Something significant complicates your relationship with your betrothed or spouse. As a result, they often undermine your efforts. When you make a check that requires the collaboration of your betrothed or spouse to make a polite request to their family or political backing or culture, check to know the proper thing to do. We might go with that. And she has no interest in a quiet life at all. Blindness? No. Oh, we could go with something related to my having been hurt. Here, damaged heart or organ. I like that. It makes that one thing stand out more in his past. Let's see what else we have besides just damaged heart or organ. Or well, your heart or another organ is weak. You can only engage in strenuous activity for half as long as other characters before needing to rest. We could check to undertake strenuous activity over a long period of time, such as fitness earth check to march for a long time, or smithing earth check to hammer plates. It is earth because every advantage and disadvantage is associated to a particular ring. So if I'm doing an Earth long distance writing check, which would be long distances, the stamina part of writing all day or even multiple days, I have a problem. And the problem, you must choose and re-roll 2 dice that are containing successes or exploding successes. After resolving the check, if you failed, then I get a void point. That would make it really hard to do my job, which will probably have my character commit seppuku or retire early to the life he actually wants to have. Lost arm? Hmm. You have only one usable hand or arm. You cannot wield weapons in two-handed grip or hold anything in your missing hand. If you're missing only a hand, you can strap items to the arm for use. We might do that. That sounds interesting. Lost leg? That's too much. I don't think I want to deal with a lost leg. Lost fingers. Maimed visage. Do I want to be ugly because it got marked in the face? What's Momoku? Puppeteer stuff? Nerve damage? Shadowlands taint. Shadowlands taint for each element. Whisper of Doom. You are well known, but not for the right reasons. No, I'm well known for the right reasons. I think we're gonna take that broken organ thing. The very first one, damaged organ. What did that do again? Your heart or other vital organ is weak. When you make a check to, oh, that was the strenuous activity. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna take that, cut and paste that, and we got damaged heart or organ. We're just gonna go with heart. That works. That is my adversity. And we also need to go back in the 20 questions and put it in the box. What holds your character back the most? Damaged my heart in battle as I rode through to deliver a secret message. And that is damaged heart organ. Okay, there we go. What what activity most makes your character feel at peace? Well, that's easy. But then we're going to pick a specific passion for it. So that's going to be fishing and relaxing in nature. And we need to choose a passion for it. So we close our adversities and we open our passions, which is a whole new advantage. It's not a very long list, though. Animal bond, fashion, enlightenment. We could go with enlightenment probably. History, generosity. Ikeben, I don't know what that means. Oh, it's planting stuff. Playfulness, sake, provocation, secrets, travel, stories. Okay, well, let's take a look at that void one. What was that? Enlightenment. You feel no attachment to mundane items and earthly titles. You cannot be tempted with material wealth or the promise of power. That sounds like it fits. After performing a check to detach yourself from material concerns, such as a meditation void check to contemplate your place in the universe, or a survival void check to exist in harmony with your. There we go. Then I remove 3 strife. That's what we want. So that is enlightenment. which is void. We're going to add Earth on here. I don't remember what famously reliable was, so I'm not going to go look it up. Enlightenment void, and let's go to our first page. Advantages, and we'll stick this in our passions. And then we need an anxiety. That should be the next question. What activity most makes your character feel at peace? We did that. What concern, fear, or foible troubles your character the most? I have no idea. So we'll try and decide it off of anxieties. So let's open anxieties. Addiction? No. Cynicism? Perhaps. Battle trauma? At the start of a duel, skirmish, or mass battle, your hands shake, your body tenses up, or your mind might even lock down. You can act normally, but your unsettled state is obvious to everyone around you, and others may try to exploit it. After performing a check related to battle, such as a martial arts melee fire check to strike down a foe or a tactics fire check to generate initiative, you receive 3 strife. Your GM can choose not to inflict this strife after you have taken a few turns and thematically overcome your trauma. If this is the first time it has occurred this scene, gain 1 void. Okay, I think we're going to do that. Not delusions of grandeur. Here, battle trauma, fire. Oh, well, we're here, so why don't we cut and paste that? Wrong button. And we got to get the rest of it from the second page. Okay. It's a mess in there. You can go in and clean it up. Okay, and that is battle trauma fire. So we want to go and put that into our 20 questions. Battle trauma fire. The chaos of battle is a frightening place. You never know what way to turn, what way to go to get through to accomplish your mission. But you must persevere. Who has your character learned the most from during their life? And this is worth stuff again. Let's see. Who has your character learned the most from? Nearly every human owes some portion of their personality, strengths, and weaknesses to the people around them. An instructor in your schools, in your character's school, or a good marriage, parents, other teachers, who knows. So in the relationship section of the character sheet, record the name of the person from whom your character has learned the most. If you want to create your own advantage or disadvantage, consult. Okay. 1 advantage relating to your character's mentor and their relationship, and 1 disadvantage relating to your character's mentor relationship. Add 1 rank in a skill that your character developed as a result of your character's closest confidant and their relationship. So I'm going to take my sensei at the Outrider School, and let's name him Moto. That was one of the other unicorn families, by the way. I don't know. What's it? Need a Japanese name. Let's look up Japanese names real quick. Japanese name, Sengoku period generator. Ito. Let's do a female. Well, get a female names. Katsumi? Melto Katsumi? You could use the first name also. I mean, they were, in most cases, the first name was originally somebody's last name. So, Kuroki, Momo, Moto Momo, Moto Kakuko. Let's try again. Momono, Seki. We're going to do Seki. Moto Seki. Okay. So she gives me a new skill or a new point in a skill. It could be martial arts arranged. Survival is survival writing? I think we're going to go with survival. Or fitness. Let's go with fitness. Doesn't that sound cool? Fitness! Okay, we want to choose a new advantage or disadvantage. Was there anything that I was also looking at and didn't take? Fear of death. I think I'm going to go with that. It kind of fits with the other fear that he has of war, his battle trauma, his PTSD. Let's go with some fear of death. Plus, I thought about what would drive him to seppuku, and then I decided that instead he would actually retire. I think I'm going to go with fear of death. This is an anxiety. Doesn't have to be an anxiety. Fear of death. Anxiety. What, Earth? And let's go stick that. And we need to find another advantage. The bigger list was that first one, so why don't we look in their distinctions? But they do different things. The distinctions give you bonus rerolls, and the what was the other one called? Passions. They gave you what did the passions give? I don't remember. Void points, I think, or I don't know, something. Blissful betrothal. Maybe I'm already married. I could take the dangerous allure. I was thinking about that. Let's do it. That is a distinction. What was the first one I took? Well, I didn't write it in there. I only wrote their types. I guess I'm not grabbing them from their name. You should probably grab them from their name. Well, I am. It's just not putting it. Thing to take note of. This one was dangerous allure. Oh, it's on there. Just not this one. This was the thing about being reliable. Something about reliability. Okay, let's go back to the 20 questions. And the advantage I just took, what's it called? Dangerous allure. Handsome as fuck. Dangerous allure. Fire. And that is a distinction. I'm only adding that so that you know how it reacts without having to look it up. So you know if it triggered, then distinctions give you 2 rerolls, so you could reroll your dice that sucked. Okay, and personality and behavior. What do people notice first about encountering your character? Handsome as fuck. Record the answers in the personality, habits, and quirks section of your character sheet. Nah, I'm not going to do all that. You guys can continue with that. That's just going to, that level of detail in this video is just going to make it take even longer. I don't need to do that. How does your character react to stressful situations? This is how you unmask from your strife. So this is an important thing to put your thought to. So I can do this with you. Oh, 15. How does your character react to stressful situations? If he has the chance, he will go for a walk to calm down. In most situations, I can't spell situations. He doesn't have that opportunity. So how does he actually react to that stress? He starts sensing danger around him and can even react fearfully violent if the situation points at that, points to real violence or threat. His presence may even unnerve those around him who are afraid he may erupt into violence, but it will be a flight response over a fight response. It doesn't mean running away, but if he gets into combat, the goal is to get to safety, even through combat, even by finishing combat. The goal is not to destroy his enemy, just to get to safety. So there we go. And now we understand more of who he is, how he deals with his own stress. What are his, what are your character's pre-existing relationships with other clans, families, organizations, and traditions? That's a good answer. Good question. So, we get a rank, an item of rarity 7. Look at that quick. We don't need this open. We don't need that open. I don't see anything about that. Record any noteworthy history, quarrels, alliances, or grievances your character has. So since you guys don't have a whole lot of understanding of the current universe, you keep this pretty vague. And as we're playing, if something comes up, then you think it's fun. Like, what if my family has a problem or I have a personal issue with this guy? Then we can add it in, unless the given situation is too late where it doesn't make sense anymore. Additionally, choose one item of rarity 7 or lower that your character received as a gift from one such group. So, from somebody that I have some kind of relationship with, I got some kind of gift. I have no idea what that is. Hmm. How about a chess set? Or, well, not chess, because chess is actually something that I would have access to, but it's going to have so little chance to play unless we're playing in Unicorn Lands. So why don't we go with Shugi or Go, two of the things that Rokugan people actually play. So we're going to go with a gaming set for Go. I have no idea what I got it from. Well, we can just keep it vague. Um, Received gaming set from member of the Utaku family. Have good standing with Utaku family. Yeah, whatever. Good enough. You could put in details and stuff as things come up that it sounds fun to have these details. But at this stage, you don't have any understanding of the other clans, the other families, even subfamilies of your own family. You don't know any of that, and you don't really have the knowledge of Rokugan to try and create that. So if you have a great idea, by all means, put it, and we'll find a way to work it out. But for the most part, just keep things vague or even non-existent. And if something comes up and it sounds like something that you want to fill in this spot with, then at that time we could put it. How would you describe your character's parents? And we have here, and it also wants you to put in the relationships part, and you certainly can. Additionally, grants one rank of one skill in which your character has 0 ranks. Ooh, we're going to take gaming, so we actually know how to play our damn Go. Um, my mother is an Utaku battle maiden known for her honor. She tried to instill this sense of honor and duty in me, and to this point, I believe I have kept true to it. It doesn't really relate it to the game so much, but yeah, she could have been into games. She could have even been a battlefield commander. I'm not necessarily, but she could have been. I could even put that if I wanted to. Maybe I don't know shit about my father, or maybe he just isn't really relevant. Or if you want to put stuff for him too, put stuff for your whole family. Put how closely related you are to the daimyo. Put whatever you want. Who is your character named to honor? I think I am going to be named to honor my mother. I was named to honor my mother. So, in the fourth edition, which I studied pretty well in the last few weeks, you don't get named. You choose your own name after your Genpoku. So we're going to do that. Oh, here we have a roll to make. Let's take a look at that. So, no, you choose your own name. Sometimes you keep the name that was your childhood name, and sometimes you don't. Hmm. Here's the table. The Samurai Heritage table. Roll a 10-sided die twice. Consult those numbers on the respective page. Choose one of those two options, and then roll a 10-sided die again. So here's our Samurai Heritage page. So I want to roll 2 dice and then take a look at them both. We have 6 and 1. So 6 is the ruthless victor. One of your ancestors claimed a bloody victory over a rival, smashing their forces with a cunning maneuver. Probably going to do that one. Or seizing their domain after vanquishing them in battle. From this relative of their story, you learned well the importance of brute force, and one, the famous deed. One of your ancestors won a great victory for their clan or even the emperor and was awarded with an item of incredible quality. Oh, both of those work for the story I'm having in my head of actually it being my mom. Do I want to lose honor? Now that doesn't fit with her as much. That she was so ruthless, lost honor. Not with the impersonation I took of her already. We're going to go with the increased famous deed. So let's put here famous deed. And my first D10 result was 1. I'm not taking the 6, I'm taking the 1, which was it gives me an increase of 3 glory. And we also have another 10-sided die to determine what effect this has. And I rolled a 2. 1 to 3 is a weapon. I roll a 10-sided die again and add the resulting family heirloom to your starting items. Okay, you choose one quality and the GM chooses one quality from the list of item qualities on page 240. These are applied to the item. So this is going to be her katana. Or if I don't want to go, it could be some other kind of weapon. We'll go take a look. Anyway, I increase my glory by 3. That is not on here. So I'm going to go up here to one of these other places to put glory. And I'm going to change it to 8. From 5 to 8. So the 3 was represented even though it's not in the right place. Added that 3 glory to the 5 above, making it 8. Just in case I ever go over this again and I'm wanting to know why that wasn't 8 or what this actually did. Now it's in here. This was result number 2. Okay, so let's pull up equipment. It's down here. And we can also look up all of our other starting equipment while we're in here. We're almost done. I wonder how many days it's taken you to get through this. Okay, well, let's take a look at weapons. Is there any we could do? A katana. Could do a naginata. Let's see what else. Well, it said it was a weapon. So it is a weapon. I could have a scimitar as part of my die show, and then I could have this katana that was given to my mother. Okay, and it said that we get I choose one quality and the GM chooses a quality from the list on page 240. What page are we on? 232, 37, item qualities. Okay. Well, katana is already ceremonial. This seems pretty stupid. These item qualities are already associated to the weapons that they're supposed to be associated to. You choose one quality, GM chooses one quality from the list of item qualities. I don't think those count for weapons or armor. It doesn't make sense. So I'm just gonna, well, I mean, I can have, if there's, let's see, where'd it go? Durable. I could put durable on a katana. Katana's already ceremonial, I believe. Katana, ceremonial and razor edged. So I could add durable. So I'm going to, and then the GM, also me, would choose something, and I'm going to declare that there's nothing makes sense. So I would make it ceremonial. I guess maybe I could make it like a double ceremonial. Yeah, I'm going to make it a double ceremonial so that it does, while wearing one or more ceremonial items, openly reduce the TN of checks to convince others of your real or assumed identity. So this would make it by 2 instead of 1. At the end of any scene in which you use a ceremonial item of a character with a higher status without their permission, you must forfeit 3 honor. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take ceremonial and durable. Katana, double ceremonial, which I don't even know if is an official thing, but for me it sounds right. If a normal katana has this effect and this is one that can be recognized by people, then yeah, let's double its effect. And durable. This is one of those katanas that will last for centuries unless someone is stupid with it and runs over it with their car. What is your character's personal name? Should be getting close to the end. We don't need. Oh, well, I could look up all the different things in here. Oh, wait. In here, in the equipment. So you can look up all of the things. Here's your armors. You're not going to know a lot of what these actually mean. Rarity means the higher it is, the harder it is to find. Price means the higher it is, the more expensive it is. And then these are the qualities. They're the exact same qualities of what we were looking at. Some things are concealable, some things are durable. So what did I come with? I'm not going to look it up. Anyway, this video is already long enough. So you can look up, all of your things in here. And there's your armor, and up here's all your weapons. Let's go to the weapon chart here. I will fill in the katana just to show you one thing. So let's go to weapons page or equipment page. Well, I guess I'll put my, well, I would put my, I'll put an armor. I don't remember what I'm supposed to start with. Weapons. So let's add a weapon. And we're going to put Mother's Katana, although the GM, me, will actually name it because this kind of legendary katana has a name. So, but for right now, we'll call it Mother's Katana. And it's just normal ass katana stuff. So it is a range of 1, damage of 4, deadliness of 5. Range of 1, damage of 4. Deadliness, we're going to put 9 instead of 5. All weapons, the way we're playing, I have it marked up here. Grittier games. The increase the deadliness of all weapons by 4. I want combat to go faster than it actually does by the core, and I want it to be more dangerous. I want combat to be something where you're like, do we really want to do that? Is it necessary? Because there's a chance you're going to die in it. So that's what I want it to represent. So the katana has deadliness 9. It has one hand and two hand grip. And let's show you that. Katana, one hand and two hand. And the two hand has deadliness plus 2. When you wield a katana with 2 hands, it is deadliness plus 2. which makes it 11 with two hands. And then qualities. Katana already has ceremonial and razor edged. So we're going to put that ceremonial, but we're going to put ×2 with it. And razor edged and durable, which is a super rare thing for katanas and usually means it has some magic in it because a katana is really not a very durable weapon. It's more durable than some of these crappy knives and stuff, but katana's not made for cutting down trees. Bamboo, yes, but not trees. And you still have to take care of it. I mean, durable doesn't mean it's never going to break. It means it takes two broken. A thing that makes it that would make it break just makes it normal. So it has to go through it twice instead of once. Okay, so there we go. That's how it is. I'm not going to go over what these numbers mean or anything like that. Just for the time being, you just want to record them. Now, the worst part of this is that this chart, the range, damage, and deadliness, is not in the same order it is. Range, damage, deadliness. So, unfortunately, you can't just look at the numbers and pop them in there. You have to, put them where they go. Okay. I do not know what my armor is, so we're just going to assume that I'm in light armor. I might not even have any. So let's look up light armor and see what it says to fill in. Those are bows. Armor. Oh, light armor isn't the thing. Oh, we just have clothes. I probably came with traveling clothes. There's no light armor. Traveling clothes. That's probably what I came with, but it doesn't matter. You can, you should go in and find out what you actually came with. Traveling clothes. It says physical resistance of 2. Physical 2. And its qualities are durable, mundane, and subtle. We already know what durable means. And go to the bottom of the equipment and it'll tell us down here. Mundane are objects that are found in all contexts of daily life and are permitted to anyone in both social contexts. And what was the other one? Mundane, durable. I wrote it down. Subtle. I don't even see that on here. There we go. There are more down here. Oh, so there were a couple of extra things. I could have put sacred. Such items are anathema to the when an otherworldly being makes it attack. I still like the idea of putting a double ceremonial, but I could put resplendent or sacred. There, we just didn't go looking far enough. Anyway, subtle does. An item with subtle quality is made to not stand out, and people tend to overlook it. Increase the TN of checks to ascertain information about the item. It just looks like anybody else's traveling clothes. Okay, so there we go. And we should be almost done with our 20 questions. Where are we at? What is my character's name? Well, we could pull that back up if you don't have an idea. Oh, well, I'm naming myself similar to my mom's name, and we already named my mom. So, what did we name her? Where was that? Oh, it was way down here. Well, I didn't write it down. Well, that's stupid. I looked it up. I guess I didn't write it down. Well, we gotta look it up again. Arakatsu sounds kind of cool. Moto Arakatsu. I don't know how I'll turn that into a dude's name, but the first one we had was like a little two-syllable name. Seki. It was Seki. Moto Seki. I remember. So my name is going to be Shinjo Sekin. Sure. I mean, there's no like real Japanese people who are looking at this and being like, that name doesn't mean anything what that name means. So yeah, sure. How should your character die? This is our last question. All proper samurai fully expect to die in service of their lord. This has no mechanical implications, but you should keep it in mind. So I think you should answer this question twice. Should answer this question the way your character expects to die, and you should answer this question the way you would prefer your character to die. How should your character die? Second, expects to die while attempting to deliver a missive in combat, just as he almost did before. And how do I want this character to die? Sestonn wants second to die. How do I want second to die? Standing up for an innocent who is being abused. Entering a battle he doesn't expect to win. But honoring his mother and his family. And hopefully allowing that innocent to escape. And now, as the GM, I recognize a little bit more of what you want or what I want second to be and how I'm thinking maybe second story could lead to and end. This is a situation for him to die where I would be satisfied that he died successfully. Because this is a samurai story and samurai die. Not very many samurai retire. Samurai do not even usually have the intention to retire. Second does, but he doesn't expect to retire. He expects to die completing his duty, but he would like to retire. Sestonn doesn't want second to retire. Sestonn wants second to die in honorable combat, allowing some innocent who was being abused to escape. And hopefully that would lead to somebody coming to fix whatever the problem was, recognizing that he probably can't fix it himself. And there we go. We're finished. We click generate character. Are you sure? Because this is going to overwrite any changes you actually made to his stats and his skills and start it over. So yes, you successfully generated your characters. Let's go take a look. I still have one air and I still have one void, but I've got 3 fire, 3 water, 2 earth. I have 10 endurance, which I don't remember. Endurance is earth and something. It's probably earth and water or earth and fire because I have 10. And composure is probably the other one because I have 10 in both. I know they both use earth. Focus and vigilance are things I'm not very good at, so well, focus 4 is probably pretty good. I might have be using fire and water or air with it, and vigilance maybe is air and void. I don't know. I suck at that. And void points only have one because my void sucks. Okay, so there we go. And my skills should be all filled out as well. I got one in games, got one in commerce, I got two in survival, one in fitness, one in melee, one in ranged, one in tactics, one in medicine. School, everything I put in here is already my own. Does it have my, oh, it put in my clan, my family, my school rank, my roles. It didn't put my character name. That would have been nice. Shinjo second. Okay. Now, I'll show you this before we're done, and I'll explain what it is. Uh, I'm wanting to see where I put my honor, glory. Here it is. Honor, glory, and status. Okay. I do have charts in here in my rules cutouts. You can look up in general what that honor, glory, and status level means. So if we look up honor 50, that's honor is the ideal 30 to 64. So 30 to 64, probably most of us are going to fall in that with our starting character. Most samurai are brought up to believe in Bushido and strive to embody its virtues. When the character speaks and acts, it is with honor in mind, but they are still human and periodically succumb to temptation, or they are simply willing to sacrifice their honor if they must. Okay, and I just thought of something I should bring up. Your Giri and Ninjo, which let's go to the front page. Your Ninjo is your desires, and your Giri is your duty. These can change as your character evolves, as as we progress through the story. Maybe you complete your Giri, and because it was more specific than this, and you get assigned a new one. Or in this case, I'm a courier, but maybe uh, my as I grow, I get recognized for something else, and they put me in some other duty, some other job. It might even be almost right away. They put me in some job that makes me capable of actually playing with this, with my other party members on whatever mission we're on. Because right now there's not a whole lot of point to sending a messenger. So that's kind of DM stuff. Um, but that's your sometimes your geary needs to matter. But a courier isn't too bad. It's something that you could easily work into sending people. And then your ninja. So maybe I changed my mind about this. Maybe some things changed my mind about the future I'm looking forward to. Or you might have a ninja that you actually acquire, and then it evolves. Maybe it becomes more specific, or your ninja was to spend your life with your beloved and she dies, so you're gonna need a new ninja. Maybe now your ninja is um, killing the person that killed her or something. But your ninja is your desires, and you always need to have something, and your giri is your duty, and you always need to have something, and they need to be not at odds, but they need to be capable of being at odds with each other. That's what a samurai story is about: being at odds with your duty and your desire. Okay, and before we go, I want to teach you what your advancement is. So let's go and look up my school again. That should be somewhere up here. Well, it's after that. It's after that significantly, because we got to go through all of the. I'm last. Wow, it's way down here. There's a lot of schools. Shinjo Outrider School. So here we are. I'm not going to fill out all of them. You can go ahead and fill out all of them right now if you want. I'm just going to fill out rank 1, and then I'll explain to you what they mean. But this is the curriculum that your character is on. So rank 1. These are the things that I'm supposed to be learning in order to get myself to rank 2. So, It's not termed this way in the book, but twice the experience that you spend on stuff, the experience that you spend on stuff, on anything, raises your, once you've spent so much experience, then you'll become rank two. That experience has double the value to earn rank two of your school if it is associated to the curriculum you're currently on. In addition to that, your curriculum gives you things that you can learn that you might not be able to learn. I can learn the pelting hail style, whatever this is. Um, I don't know what that symbol is. Kata? It's a kata. I can learn the pelting hail style kata, and it's going to have some requirement that I don't meet, and that's what this symbol means, that I can learn it anyway. But if you notice, pelting hail style is not listed in rank 2. So if I'm going to learn it, I need to learn it in rank 1. I can't learn it in rank 2. I mean, I can, but I'll have to go through its prerequisites. So let's put martial skills, skill group type. Martial skills. What's this number on there? Oh, that's how much experience I've already put into it. All right. So we don't. It doesn't care what the group is. Where's the page I'm supposed to be on? Here. Commerce, courtesy, and survival. Rank 1 Earth Shuji. How bad is my Earth? It's at 2, so I might not suck at Earth Shuji. Maybe I'll want to look at those. So if we take a look at this, you see how it doesn't have that symbol on it. So I can't learn these that are that have a requirement that I don't meet. I can only learn these rank 1 Earth Shujis, and I can only learn them right now. At rank 2, it's going to allow me to learn rank 1 and 2 kata, and these other two things that I won't have to pay attention to. So these are things that you can learn, and these are things that you can always learn, but if you do learn them, you get extra experience. And of course, learning these is worth so much, or not experience, but points towards your level. And these are also things that, I mean, maybe I can't learn them without being rank 1, but it's still worth twice as much than what I paid for them because it's part of my curriculum. So I can learn pelting hail style and cadence in addition to what I already have. Pelting hail style, which was a kata, and cadence, which I believe is a shuji. Is that what it said? Where's shujis are these little sickle things. I don't. It's probably not a sickle, but to me it looks like maybe it's a paintbrush with a little like motion movement. But so there's where my being a courtier is coming in. It's teaching me shujis, or giving me the opportunity to learn shujis. Rank 1 Earth shujis at this rank, and cadence. In the next rank, I will have access to dazzling performance, but that will be the only shuji I can even learn on rank 2. Rank 3, I can learn rank 1 to 3 water shujis. What does my water look like? That's one of my better things, so I'll probably focus a lot on those when covering rank 3. Okay, so there you have it understood, and that's how it works. I don't know exactly how many points you need to spend to get to the next rank. That doesn't really matter right now. I just wanted to make sure that you understand what this means. And if you want to go ahead and fill in your entire chart, go ahead. That way you don't have to come and look at this. So there we go. I hope you got your character made. I wonder how many days it took you to go through this. But we went through from the beginning to the end. We got a character made. There's one question that we didn't fill out because I didn't see the relevance in actually going through that with you. But there was only one. Most of them I thought were relevant to show you, my train of thought and how I would go about that process. Uh, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. And there we go. I hope you had fun. Stop. Record.